продолжу, вернее, нашу работу. Мы рассмотрим актуальные вопросы деятельности БРИКС, прежде всего в экономической и гуманитарной сферах, а также заслушаем доклады глав профильных структур нашего объединения. Это президента Нового банка развития госпожи Дилмы Роусов, председатель
Polar model, which launches a new wave of growth, first of all in the countries of the global south and east, and naturally in the BRICS states. However, we still witness a significant crisis capacity, and it's not only about the geopolitical tension. What affects that is the continued growth of debt in the developed countries, the expanded practices of unilateral sanctions, protectionism, and unfair competition. As a result, we witness the fragmentation of international trade, the market of direct foreign investment, especially in the developing states. We see a high level of commodity price volatility. Due to inflation, the citizens' income and corporate revenues are dropping in numerous countries. We are not up to the task of complying with the UN Agenda in Sustainable Development to 2030, and the less developed countries are suffering from this the most. First of all, they're suffering from food and energy inflation. Speaking of the BRICS economies, overall, they show a good level of stability thanks to responsible macroeconomic and financial policies of our governments. The majority of the group states expect to see accelerated growth rates in the middle term. The average BRICS economic growth in 2024-2025 would be 3.8% according to estimations, while the global GDP would grow by 3.2 or 3.3% according to estimates. The BRICS GDP share in purchasing power parity at the end of 2024
0,7%, что уверенно превышает долю стран группы 7. Эта доля составит 30%. 30% было по итогам 2023 года, в 2024 будет чуть повыше. Тенденция к сохранению лидирующих позиций БРИКС в мировой экономике, как представляется, будет укрепляться. Прежде всего, в силу таких объективных факторов, как рост населения, накопление капитала, урбанизация и увеличение
such as population growth, the increased labor efficiency and the innovations. We see the increased capacity of our economies to use all the advantages of the new wave of global growth. In order to do that, our countries need to step up the technological cooperation in such areas as technology, education, efficient resource allocation, trade and logistics, finance and trade, and significantly increase the volumes of capital investment. In this regard, we suggest creating a new BRICS investment platform, which would become a powerful tool to support our national economies and would ensure financial resources for the countries of the global south and east. Let me point out that this year, our group has managed to agree on a number of initiatives aimed at solving the critical tasks of our common importance, in particular, to increase the sustainability of supply chains and added value, countering protectionism, to develop the e-commerce, to establish contacts through the special economic zones. We believe that the elaboration of a common position to establish more fair rules of the game in the global economy and the reform of the international finance system would be accelerated thanks to the launch of the special consultation mechanism of BRICS on the matters of the WTO. We need to keep working together to promote balanced approaches towards the low-emission model of development for the global economy. We need to counter the attempts to use the climate agenda to eliminate competition from the markets. This is especially important for the developing markets. This is what the BRICS Contact Group for Climate and Sustainable Development is doing. We see good promise in the initiative of the BRICS Partnership on Carbon Markets and the Climate Research Platform. The countries of the group are building up cooperation in eliminating the barriers for e-commerce and trade. The dynamic growth of the internet sales results in the increase of the number of commercial disputes which require fair consideration. The Russian chairmanship suggested establishing mutual exchange of information on the practices of the launch of online services to settle disputes in e-commerce, in order to make sure we can establish the joint framework procedures of the pre-court settlement of the disputes. Let me remind you of our own initiatives to establish the BRICS Investment Arbitration Center and the Convention on Settling Investment Disputes, which would increase the safety and security of the mutual capital investments. Over the entire BRICS space, we currently have over 2,500 special economic zones. We believe it is important to establish direct links between the management teams of such territories with preferential or reduced rates, in order to make sure they can exchange their best practices in building logistics hubs, localizing the industrial production, and establishing the beneficial and competitive conditions for the investors. A number of BRICS states are the leaders in the production of grains, of beans and oil cultures and products of agriculture. Therefore, we suggest starting the grain exchange of BRICS, which would ensure fair and predictable price indicators for the commodity prices, keeping in mind its special role in ensuring food security.
Implementation of this initiative will help us protect national markets from negative external influence, speculations, and attempts to create artificial food deficit. Over time, we could think of transforming the grain exchange into a full-fledged goods exchange. BRICS is making an undeniable contribution to global energy security. The grouping includes both key producers and consumers of energy resources. The joint energy research platform has proven its efficiency. Russia is promoting expansion of management of mineral resources cooperation. In July, Moscow hosted the first meeting of the geological platform, which has made it possible to revive the exchange of experience in the field of exploration and production of natural resources. We believe it is reasonable to establish a separate BRICS platform on precious metals and diamonds, because this market is overregulated by different trade barriers, bypassing the universal Kimberley process certification mechanism. The BRICS Competition Law and Policy Center has proven efficient. We believe it is useful to advance this work. In particular, we should launch an interstate platform on fair competition. Let me stress the successful meeting of heads and experts of tax services of BRICS countries that was held in Moscow. Colleagues put forward some useful ideas, namely to develop a website for tax cooperation among BRICS countries and establishment of an online platform for digital solutions of tax services. Russia suggested creating a permanent tax secretariat of BRICS on a rotation basis. Increasing transport connectivity requires particular attention because it gives us additional possibilities for growth and diversification of mutual trade. This year, we launched a regular dialogue on this issue. We built subgroups on transport and logistics under the Business Council. We are discussing such future-oriented projects as establishment of a permanent BRICS logistics platform and a review of transport routes, as well as launching an electronic communication platform on transport, as well as establishment of a reinsurance pool. We've reached tangible progress in cooperation on public health care, facilitated by the October meeting of sectoral ministers. It set a long-term vector for work in the field of health care. We established a group on nuclear medicine that will promote cooperation in the field of production of innovative radiological medicines and diagnostics. St. Petersburg hosted a first BRICS forum on nuclear medicine that has proven efficient. We've launched an integrated early warning system for prevention of risks of mass infectious diseases. Russia put forward an initiative to establish a research BRICS network on public health care that should strengthen the national healthcare systems by means of exchanging advanced experience and expertise. We should further strengthen the potential of BRICS Vaccine R&D Center and the BRICS TB Research Network. On a separate note, I would like to mention the first edition of the BRICS Medicine Journal. From now on, doctors, researchers and students have a possibility to publish their innovative ideas. BRICS scientific and technical cooperation is making a contribution to overcoming the global digital divide, development of artificial intelligence and new advanced technologies. I would like to draw your attention to the Russian proposal on establishment of a BRICS alliance in the field of artificial intelligence. It aims at regulating artificial intelligence technologies, in particular in order to prevent their unlawful use. In Russia, the business community has adopted a code of ethics in this field. Our BRICS partners and other countries are welcome to join it. We welcome agreement on common approach to the creation of a system of scientific databases, as well as expansion of cooperation in the number of participants of the network university. Let me mention the decision to establish the Day of Geographer. From now on, it will be celebrated annually on the 18th of August. We have already held a scientific expedition to the national parks in Krasnoyarsk and region and Khakassia on that day. During the Russian chairship, we made a focus on development of cultural and humanitarian contacts. We held an international film festival and the cultural festival of BRICS countries and established an alliance of national dancing cultures and an association of BRICS Educational Film and Media Association. We've held large-scale sports games of BRICS. This year, Kazan hosted the 5th edition of such games on 27 sports. For the first time, they were held in an open format. Not only BRICS athletes participated, but also athletes from more than 80 countries of the world. These groups demonstrate that Russia has an up-to-date infrastructure and human potential to hold large global-scale sports events. In order to further develop the BRICS Games, we suggest that we develop a special intergovernmental program and establish a coordinating body that would implement projects in the field of physical culture and sports. This year, within the grouping, we have revived an interparliamentary dialogue. We established a new format, namely the meetings of heads of committees on international affairs of our respective lawmaking bodies. There are good prospects for cooperation between regions, cities and municipalities. During thematic forums held in Moscow, Nizhny Novgorod and Kazan, we managed to discuss prospects for cooperation in the field of sustainable development of municipalities, effective governance of urban facilities and infrastructure, as well as ensuring greater accessibility of public services. Distinguished colleagues, excellencies, thank you for your attention, and now I would like to give the floor to give you a chance to speak on the results of our economic and humanitarian cooperation. And first I give the floor to President of the Federal... Oh, I'm sorry. He will join us virtually. So now I give the floor to President of the People's Republic of China.